do 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 do. Boo. Hey, da 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 da. Do 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 do. I'm typing. Do 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 do. Boop ba doop ba doop ba doop ba doo. Doop ba doop ba doop ba doop ba doo. Oh. Doop ba doop ba doo. Doop ba doo. Hello. I am here for Chixie as well. How about that? So we're up to volume 8. I think we're getting pretty close to the halfway point. We're 2 away from the halfway point. Alright. We're gonna just keep going. I'm gonna try and do one each week. That'll take us through March, April, May, June. Probably through like June, I guess. That'll be neat. Man, what day does the 13th fall on? We might have to do something special for that date. Let me take a look at my calendar. The 13th. Oh, the 13th is on a Saturday. Then I'll really have to do something on that day. Since we have the whole day. Well, I might have the whole day. I'm not sure yet. But that's still a month away. Give me plenty of time to think of something. And I have no idea what it could be. Yeah, the whole month should be plenty of time for me to just slack off and not think about it, and then scramble really fast to find something to do on the 13th. Apparently something is happening this 4/13, and I'm both scared and excited. Me too, Quintus. I have no idea what it could be. No idea at all. Literally no idea. Not a single idea of what it could be. Not one. Not even a little hint of an idea. Chixie has 4 endings. Well, I guess we're going to be spending some time on her route then, aren't we? Well, let's go ahead and get started. Another night, another ramble. A classic song comes back to you as you continue on your way. Some of that good old earth wisdom about a specific kind of footwear being made for walking. You wish you had that kind of footwear right now, in this current chapter of your life. Or any footwear, for that matter. You've definitely learned your lesson about getting overexcited at the prospect of new friends. And running out in nothing but a bathrobe. Oh, who are you kidding? Maybe not in that particular bathrobe way. But chances are high that wasn't the last time you'll fly off in the buoyant afterglow of an intense friendgasm. Okay. So, Chixie's got 4 endings, huh? That's a lot, but I think we can do it. Well, we'll start with Tisius first. Unless Tisius has like 5 endings or something like that. Whoa, this is like really loud in my headphones. Let me adjust the sound somehow. Oh, okay, I know. It's still really loud in my headphones. Okay. Let's try that. That should that should work better. I don't know why it's so loud. Is that better for all of you? Okay. Okay, good. I don't want to blow anyone's eardrums out, and especially not me, because if like the sound is too high on my end, it really affects my ability to keep my focus. That's all right. Are there routes written by the same people? I don't know. Let's find out real quick. Character artist, background artist, ending illustrations. Writers, here we go. Okay, Aisha wrote Chixie, and Lilo wrote Tisius. So they're not written by the same person. Yeah, I'm in the background artists and ending illustrations. Woo! I would have liked to have done one of the characters, but I don't think mine would have looked nearly as good as any of the other ones, so that's okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's get into this route so we can move on to the important stuff. That is all of Chixie's endings. Just up ahead, you see a troll leave her hive, muttering to herself. She's holding an unstable mountain of papers and books with one arm, using her free arm to hold a mug steady. She isn't paying attention to you, which is fine. Don't get it twisted, you'd love to make another friend. You just understand now that it's a weird, flighty thing. Some trolls you mesh with, some you don't. You smile at her just in case, but when she walks right by you without stopping, you shrug. This planet is chock full of friendable weirdos. You'll live. You only take a few more steps before the sound of her absolutely eating shit on the sidewalk makes you turn. It happens fast enough so that you only really see the aftermath of upended books and papers raining down in an impressively wide circle around her. Ah, globes. Damn ass rock. She sits up, but that's as far as she bothers to get. After taking a sip from her mug, which somehow must have stayed level in her grip during her fall, she sighs and gets to work gathering it all back up with her free hand. Yeah, this checks out. As a thing that would happen to me. It's not like I have anything else to be doing. You've seen a teen movie or two in your day. You know this trope. The cool kid helps the unpopular nerd after they fall like a chump and embarrass themselves. Then slowly the pair establishes trust. By the time credits roll, they've gone and fallen in love. Not that you necessarily want to fall in love, or that you're under the delusion that you're in any way cooler than her, but still, it's tried and true, and also, like, a pretty standard decent person thing to do. So like the decent person you hope to be, you skedaddle on over. You stop short just in front of her wide-flung ring of items. You want to make sure she's not going to yell at you or murder you or anything before you interfere. What? JK, I busted ass. I know it's a scene. Well, what are you waiting for? Be a good bystander and stop standing by. She gestures kind of all around her, and that's confirmation enough. You bend to pick up a heavy-looking book, and there it is, emblazoned right on the cover. A gavel, a humongo fucker of a judgment implement too, with spines all around the handle. Dread creeps up your spine. You slowly slide your gaze from the book's cover to its owner. She doesn't have any ostentatiously blood-colored themed clothes on, though, wow, she is sporting socks and sandals. Maybe you are cooler than her after all. But the very prominent eye bags are tinged teal. Ah, globes. A lawyer. It's not that you don't appreciate your one lawyer friend for who he is. It's just, you aren't sure if you have it in you to sneak your way into the heart of another. You got kinda lucky last time. The scales of judgment in your heart start to weigh in your chances. Ooh. I say pick up more papers. I'm kind of hesitant because I don't want to kill anyone with my ass again. You start making neat piles of all her stuff. After watching you for a second like she's making sure you're not screwing it up, she dramatically heaves herself to her feet and joins in the effort. Oh, I don't have time for this shit. Make sure to keep the B-34s together in my red folder. You look down at your current pile. B. That's the one with the little hook on top, right? Where's that G? Sweat pricks at your temples. You've picked up a little bit of written Alternian here and there, but you're still not anywhere near competent at it. Sifting through the papers, you search for anything familiar. You make out a few words, but there are just a lot of those little guys in these papers, and you've got performance anxiety. Oh, right. You probably still can't read. You look up at her, startled. How could you tell? Well, I mean, you don't look much like a troll. It isn't exactly a gargantuan mental leap to assume you're not from around here. But also, I've heard about you. You straighten up. Any press is good press when it comes to friends discussing you, right? Teals talk. Oh. Unfortunately. Oh. She puts her mug down on the ground and picks up a fallen book, talking as she flips to whatever page she's looking for. That little asshole's going to have even more unfortunate crap to say to me when he finds out I set us all back by dropping half of our group project in a ditch. She paces in flustered circles until she finds a bookmark among the debris. Flicking a wet leaf off of it, she shoves it in the open spine of the book and slams it closed. Whatever. I can't think about that yet. Gotta get all this back in order first. Right. Yeah, the ordering of stuff. You keep at it, doing the best you can to keep similar-looking things together. You can feel her eyes on your back. and you turn to face judgment. You've basically got it right, actually. He did say you were quick at the draw. I'm Tisius, by the way. She doesn't so much smile at you as grimace. It looks mostly pleased as exhausted expressions go. That's as good as friendship building material as any other. You've certainly started with worse than being complimented. The breeze plays at the ends of her frizzy hair, ruffling a few pages while it's at it. Now that you aren't frantically trying to prove your helpfulness and have a moment to think, you don't know if the sidewalk is the best place to be starting from scratch with a whole filing system. You open your mouth to tell her as much when a huge pop of gust flows in Breeze's Junior's wake, blowing the neat stacks back into chaos. Mother grubbing. She sinks slowly back down on the snow globe of paper, takes a long sip from her mug sitting next to her, and then tilts her head back and unleashes a single deep gut holler. You scuttle around, catching documents out of the air until the gust is gone. It's not that Tisius doesn't seem capable, it's just that she seems a bit burnt out. You know what it's like to feel like you're at the end of your rope. So now that you have half a swinging grab and a handle on things here, you feel like it's your turn to do the heavy friendship lifting. Let's offer to help her organize it all somewhere with less of a breeze risk. Hey, your night is pretty wide open. You wouldn't mind moving this operation to a less windy location and getting it together for real. Yeah, all right. She still sits there kind of dazedly, so you take over. It feels nice to be useful, even if you're not super confident about your skills. You at least know how to make a mean pile. After you make a handful of them, she moves to join the effort, so you shush her back down. You're helpful McHelperson, and you have got it. She makes a non-committal noise and watches you work. You try not to feel too bad when she winces at a few of your sorting decisions. She doesn't stop you, at least. She scrunches up her face and yawns, which catches you off guard. Man, she really is wiped. You look away from her to the paper you were about to grab, but it's not there. Maybe it blew into another stack? Or you picked it up already and forgot? Yeah, that's probably right. Anyway, she had her eyes closed, so she didn't notice. It'll be fine. Once you have everything kind of together, you help her to her feet. You're pretty sure that was her hive she just walked out of, so you ask if you should go there. No, I was headed to the book hive. I can take you there. She seems to rally a bit now that it's her turn to lead the way. She picks up a heavy stack of her things, balances her mug on top of it all, and starts walking. Move it or lose it. It being the opportunity to engage in some really tedious micromanagement. There's no choice to be had, really. You move it. The book hive is an imposing building, and inside are a series of rooms opening off a central atrium. You walk past one open set of double doors showing off a room full of weird statues and display cases, and another one bright with the light of dozens of display screens and humming with electricity. Further around the curve of the room, you pass by a room full of brains in jars? It really looks like brains in jars. There's another still, a windowless one, ostentatiously secured with multiple padlocks and what looks like a retina scanner. There are a bunch of trolls in each room, and as you keep passing doors, you realize they're almost all teal bloods. Are they the, nerd cast? Wow, harsh. I mean, yeah, though. We kind of are. I know plenty of Goldbloods who spend their nerd energy ruining the internet from their basements, and Blue Bloods usually have their own personal jerk-off book hives. And they're always outliers, I guess. But yeah, between us and the Jades, the book hive is blue-green dweeb city. Tisius keeps moving like this is nothing new. To her, you guess it isn't. She pushes a creaky wooden door open to reveal a large study room full of bookshelves and furniture. There are even a few weird-looking ferns decorating the place. In here are a bunch of trolls, some reading, many on their computers. You dump the stuff you lugged here onto one of the tables. The sound echoes in there, and a handful of trolls look your way. Yikes. You hope your presence won't be too conspicuous. You're probably fine. Unless anyone gets horny for acting grown and wants a bounty. But you're with me, so they probably won't mess with you. You're a little surprised by that. Tizius, who is slumped down in a chair and is stolidly reorganizing her piles, doesn't exactly give off a brawler aura. No, like they know I'll talk them out of it. Or whine at them about leaving me alone until they do. That makes you feel safe enough. So, time to do some old-fashioned organization. What is this big project anyway? It's just some bullshit. She stops and cuts her eyes around the room, but no one is still paying attention, as far as you can see. She starts speaking again, quieter. An assignment for one of my legislator training courses. We're supposed to choose a prosecutable offense from the scrolls of evisceration and list all potential. She must be able to sense your eyes glazing over at the idea of another long and not parsable legal jargon ramble, because she cuts herself off there. It's barely worth describing. Grub school level, honestly, but it's extremely fucking tedious to research and then annotate. Especially when you can't find sources that haven't been scrubbed nice and fuchsia. Anyway, as long as we get things in the right folders in the right order, we should be good for now. Sounds good enough to you. Plenty of time to keep chatting and getting to know each other. Though, she said this was a group project, right? Where are her group members? Shouldn't they be contributing? Like I'd let them. Just kidding. I'm very good at allowing people to help me. She grits her teeth and nods at you, masterfully setting aside the papers labeled with a letter that looks like a little microscope. Case in point. Anyway, they did their parts already. I just want to make sure to add the finishing touches. Right then, you hear approaching footsteps. It had better not be some high blood you gotta take out. I mean, you'll do it if you have to. This is tried and true. You're just not sure how well this dynamic duo would fare in that case. You stop scanning the room for potential bludgeoning material when you see Tizius's expression go from regular tired to tired and annoyed, but not in fear of mortal peril. You hear him speak as you start to turn. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. I'm trying to remember what I did for his voice. Oh, shoot. How the mighty fall, and into such a mud puddle it seems. At least my associate seems to be picking up after you fairly efficiently. Fuck off, Sorgor. We'll have it together in time. You sure you don't require any assistance? I'd have to raise my rates from my original offer, but you know it still stands. You did your part already. So spare me both your sales pitch and your company before you give me a second acid tube ulcer. Oh, right, you need to do those final edits of yours. Subtextual anti-establishment agendas don't insert themselves, after all. Suit yourself. See you in class. They give each other an identical but inscrutable hand signal. If the huff of perturbation comes from a nearby jade as any indication, it's got to be something vulgar. Perish. Perish. He smirks and raises his eyebrows at you as he turns to go. Come by later? You nod. You open your mouth to be nosy, but Tizia sees it coming a mile away. What, you never had a class friend? Someone who does good work but is miserable to hang out with? I don't have time to waste on more than one quadrant or on lying to you, so don't blow a brain gasket. Just when you think you have all the troll dynamics down, you gotta make room for that cursed bastard nuance. Anyways, you guess it makes sense. You and your troll friends have all kinds of weird vibes with each other too. Whatever works. Exactly. You should go back to happily sorting. Tizia rolls her shoulders and starts leafing through your piles. Where's my... Have you seen a handwritten page? It should be here. She starts double-checking herself. Her pace doesn't so much escalate as it does intensify. Her whole body becomes almost graceful with efficiency. You got everything, right? I thought I watched where it all went. I could have sworn I saw it land. You can help her redo a lost page. It shouldn't be too hard to recreate it. That doesn't help. She glares at you and starts forcefully whispering, still double-checking piles without looking, like she knows them by touch. You don't understand. Those were my personal notes on an extremely sensitive topic I discovered while researching. I was only planning on using it to inform my stance, not turn it in with the rest. It's not here. She stops her futile search, downs the rest of whatever's in her mug, and holds her head in her hands. I'm fucked. I might as well lay down right here, and until moss grows on my desiccated body. That's dramatic. You don't want to blame her or anything, especially since it's possibly sort of your fault it's lost, but you still want to give her hope. Maybe next time she could use Gorgle Docs. It won't blow away and it has collaboration settings. You've used them with... Her head pops back up, her features slack. I can't use Gorgle Docs for this. Are you listening? That is the whole point. You know who owns that, right? Every document is monitored. Analog is the only way to do anything unless you know how to get me into the dark web, which I fucking doubt. If someone found it, if my handwriting is recognized, I'm dead. Then I'll never be able to... She trails off, just sort of slumped in her seat, staring into the void. Shit, you really fucked up. You admit to her that you may have allowed one page to blow away when you weren't paying attention, and that it could possibly have been that one. Great. I can't believe I was stupid enough to let someone else handle things. I was just so tired. Her shoulders start to shake a bit. Oh no. She doesn't cry, but you almost wish she would. The way she keeps blinking back her tears and hiding her face with her arm is worse. It feels invasive to watch, and thankfully it doesn't last. She sniffs once, clears her throat, and wipes her face with her sleeve. Silently, she stacks all of her things back in a pile. Okay. I need to retrace my steps. Maybe it hasn't been spotted yet. Maybe it'll be okay. It won't, but oh well. You reach to help, desperate to fix the situation, but she gingerly picks your hand up off of her books and drops it in your lap. Your stomach sinks to join it. No. Don't worry. I've got it. She wrestles it all into a precarious heap in her arms. It wobbles once as she makes her way steadily to the door, but she catches it herself. Head high, she keeps walking. She doesn't look back. Aw. That's a real bummer right there. Hooray, I got the worst ending first. Yay. It's all uphill from here, lads. Okay. Suggest a small breather might help. You know a breaking point when you see one. You weren't expecting it so early in a potential friendship encounter, but still, it's clear that this troll needs some time to chill. This is a mess, yeah? She swings the pendulum of her chin over to glare deadened knives at your guts. Okay, yes, it is a mess, but it seems like maybe, just perhaps, it would be best to sort of put a pin in it all. To suck air in and out of your insufflation sacs or whatever and just get it together for a minute. No group projects were ever aced when the clear leader was not at her peak mental performance. She wrinkles up her nose and closes her eyes. You know what? Fine. Fuck it. Not all of it, of course, but this night specifically and everything and everyone I know or have thought extensively about before in my life. So that just leaves you. What do you have in mind, friend? Because I'm all out of ideas. That word still does a number on you, no matter how many times you hear it used flippantly. You have an idea already, so you hurriedly gather her shit into extremely unorganized piles, which she drops off in her hive to deal with later. You half expect her to just not come back out, but she does. She's kept only one heavily annotated tome and her mug, which she nods at when she speaks. I know, but these are for just in case. Anyway, do your worst. With a salute and a few gentle tugs at Tisius' sleeve to keep her moving, you get going. You and your Alternian pals have taken turns leading each other to some pretty wild places in your time here. The place you've taken Tisius to, though, is somewhere you haven't shared with anyone. It's where you come back to on days when you can't find a friend, or don't want to impose on any of the ones you've made. It's on the outskirts of town where the buildings are spread thinner until the landscape cuts upward in a jagged cliff face. Bolted into the side of the rock is a tower, or what's left of one. It's basically a heap of scaffolding and rusted-out ladders holding up a half-covered platform, but it's been a good place to staunch bleeding and stargaze. Do I give off an outdoorsy vibe to you? Does my half-untucked button-up and paltry muscle mass scream, would love to scurry up a dilapidated relic? You'd worry about her hating your plan, but you kind of feel like she'd complain no matter where you took her, and at this point the die is cast. So heave-ho, you say. It's stronger than it looks. You offer to hold her stuff for her during the ascent. She gives you the book, but clutches the mug against her chest. You know better than to pry, but you're dying a little wondering why she's so weird about it, unless she's got liquor made from viscera in there. Or maybe her Lucis gave her the mug, so it's special. Could be both. You shrug and start climbing. Like you thought she would, she follows you, and like before, she complains about it the whole time. And like the structure itself, you both weather it fine. At the top, she looks around. Is this your hive? It's more like a hideout. You still feel a little shy about it. It's not as fancy as your friends' hives, and you don't have any weird animal parent to make you snacks or anything. There's only little keepsakes you've picked up along the way, set up on the creaky old table next to some complicated old tech you couldn't get the power on. This must be an old watchtower from when that was part of her Imperial Bitchiness's preferred method of surveillance. She runs a hand over the dusty screen. Oh, Trissa? You learned about her. Ha, no. Her bigger, badder, off-world counterpart, the Condess. Ah, you look at the rusted barrel of some terrifying weapon mounted in the corner, and then out over the landscape and sprawling town. In the distance, smoke rises from a freshly demolished hive. Glinting in the moonlight, drones circle around it like buzzards. It's been like this here for a while, then. You sit down, your legs dangling off the side of the platform. Tisius joins you, a safe distance away from the edge. That is one hell of an understatement. But yeah, we've got a time-honored status quo in operation here. Streamlined. Efficient. Brutal. Tisius looks miserable. That's not what you were going for. You summon up the old Roy G. Biv in your head for the 1000th time. She should be safe, right? Teals are middle class? And anyway, she's a lawyer. She's got the powers that be on her side. Saying so doesn't seem to cheer her up at all. I mean, you're not wrong. But being in a position to benefit from the system doesn't make the system more morally palatable. And if I'm being real about it, it's more me being forced to uphold it than anything else. She nods towards the book in your hands. Oh, right. How does all this work anyway? Can she just not be a lawyer? And aren't there good ones? Yeah, I can quit. If I want to get culled. There's always a choice. She sighs. It's not like I expect suffering to ever stop completely. It just seems like an awful lot of work to do to make sure it keeps happening. And that's the entire job of a legislacerator. Unless you're purple enough to get away with it, you're just guilty no matter what. It's just a matter of going through all the fanfare of a trial, all for the same result. It's sick, but it's so normal by now that no one knows how to begin questioning it. She looks more exhausted now than she did during the paper explosion. Like when you've used up all your sadness and all you have is deep, broken fatigue. This isn't exactly the rejuvenating getaway you envisioned. There's just so much injustice. You continue to try to be positive. Are there not political parties? Some secret underground movements or anything? Sure, most lowbloods you met have a healthy, fatalistic nonchalance about their situations, but there's got to be something else out there. There were a few people who tried to stir shit back up in the day. It's all kind of hushed up and hard to find any information on the history of them, though. Definitely not the kind of thing they teach you in legislacerator training. One was a mutant blood, and the other had wings. So I guess they didn't have much of a chance anyway. You can't imagine the story having a happy ending, but you still want to know more. There's the subtlest shift in her tone of voice now that she's doing more than only complaining. It draws you in. One of them seems to have gathered enough of a following to have become a kind of religious figure, from what little I can find out about him. The other one led a military revolt. They both were killed along with their attempts at change. I don't even know what happened to their compatriots. She stops to squint at you. I don't know how you got me talking like this. But in the fuck it spirit of the night, I'm just gonna keep going. If it wasn't clear, I'm telling you things that can get me extremely cold. So please be chill. You're so chill, the chillest, and also probably pretty gullible yourself. Good point. She squints at you a little longer, and then stares out into the night. Her jaw muscle clenches a few times before she speaks. I have some ideas. She's still not looking at you, but she sits up a little straighter. You feel your spine following suit almost on its own. All of us training to be legislacrators like to practice throwing our weight around. Some of us more than others, which I guess you have first-hand experience with. But We don't have much real power yet. We will, though, if we pass our exams. Which I will. I've been staying up most days, studying every documented piece of the law, and some underground stuff too when I find it. There are exploitable loopholes that they don't know about. If I can establish myself as a major player, I might have a chance to change things. Some things you can only take apart from the inside out. By now, she's built up a fevered energy, even with the sluggish way she talks. When you shift in your seat, she kind of snaps out of it. Oh, sorry. I guess I got a little worked up. I don't exactly get to talk about this very often. It's kind of overwhelming to think about how fucked every little thing is all the time. But now that I see it clearly, I can't not do something. It's like Alternia is a giant fire, and I'm pissing on a tiny corner of it, while the rest of everything burns up around me. Your brain is buzzing with how real that all felt. You can't really add anything to it, so you just nod. Are things less abysmal where you're from? Ooh boy. In ways, yeah. At home, the accused is called a defendant, at least, as in they get a defense. Her eyes brighten. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Does your justice system work? You exhale slowly, trying to buy yourself time to encapsulate all of your planet's various cultures, societal structures, and similarly overwhelming list of injustices in an intelligent blurb. You settle on, not always, not for everyone. Her laugh is short and hollow. So much for enlightened life forms existing somewhere in the universe. You guess until a more kind and just alien life form comes to take over, you'll have to make do with each other. Yeah, you're not so bad. I'd take on an oppressive regime with you any time. She gives your arm an awkward tap with her fist, and then looks back out over the edge. Anyway, I'm no religious figure or military strategist. There's got to be someone out there who is. Got to use what skills I have instead, I guess, until I find them. What the fuck else would I do with my time? Keep pissing on the fire is the best anybody can do, you reckon? That and get others hydrated enough to do the same. She laughs. Keep on pissing, huh? I'll drink to that. Ugh. She takes a big swig from her mug. After a beat, she silently and without looking at you extends her arm your way. You stare at the mug's depths, but a little unnerved. It doesn't look like viscera, but you've been burned before. It won't kill you. You're not sure what it will do, but Tisius is truthful if nothing else, so... Bottoms up. What the fuck? It's... water. Tisius grins and taps her temple with a claw. Gotta give the people something. Otherwise, they might think I'm the way I am on my own. Then where would we be? You don't know. Letting people in can be helpful, you know. Sometimes. Shh. Shh. I'm fine. You're not convinced. Okay, I'll admit it. It's not a bad idea to relax every once in a while. Get your priorities straight. This was a decent time. You're glad she's glad, but you mostly just talk the whole time about the same stuff that she's overwhelmed with to begin with. Does that even count? You learned a lot, but she still looks pretty wiped. As soon as you think of that, she yawns. She's so driven. You shiver a bit when you imagine what she could do if she took the time to rest for real. You pat the pile of blankets next to you. It's no bed, or tub of soaper slime for that matter, but it's gotten you through enough. She looks warily at it and yawns again. I guess my Lucis and my mate spirit will just think I'm at the book hive anyway. One little nap won't hurt. I'll get up early tomorrow and reorganize our Stupid, busy work project. She tentatively lowers herself onto the blankets. Her eyes close for a brief second before they snap open again, glaring at you with full force. Don't doubt me either. I've got it under control. Oh, you have zero doubts in her abilities, you say. She curls back up against herself, and a small rattle of contentedness shakes in her throat. Out in the distance, the blaze has dimmed to a thin plume of smoke. You hope whoever's hive it was is okay. You're not sleepy, so you'll keep watch to make sure she gets up by sunrise. You tilt your head back and look up at the unfamiliar constellations. Your head feels full. It's intense and not exactly what you'd call happy, but you know you're feeling it with her, and that's far from nothing. Hey, victory! That's a pretty nice ending, I think. We still have one more ending to get for Tisius, though. I think. Man, just doing this voice for Tisius is making me sleepy, too. Keep standing there, paralyzed by choice. You kind of can't look away from that gavel. Those spines could really stab a person's skull right open, huh? Wow. Thanks for all the standing around and staring assistance. It's really helping a lot. Definitely can't just do that on my own. You're still stuck in the image. She stands up grumbling and snatches the book out of your hand grasp. She turns and waving a dismissive hand at you. Never mind. Now you're just in my way. She doesn't tell you to leave, but she stops acknowledging you, which you figure is pretty much the same thing. You were iffy about this one from the start, but damn, and it turns out rejection still stings. Oh. Okay. I kind of figured that was the direction that was going in as soon as... I mean, yeah, I am always sleepy, but, like, now even more so. Okay, so we got all of Tisius's is ending. And so now we get to go to the real star of Hive Swap. Chixie. I'm going to take a short break first, and I'll be right back, alright? Whew, okay, I'm back. I needed a quick break and get some water, because still not entirely used to talking at length, so my throat dries out pretty easily. Whew. Okay. Oh, thank you for liking my voice for Tisius. I still not quite entirely sure how to talk with her quirk that doesn't sound annoying or weird or not too similar to Follicle's voice, but what's evers. Okay, so it's Chixie time. Let's get those 4 endings. Let's hopefully we can get the good ending last. I don't think we've done that yet. Huh. Your point is, you need a wardrobe change. You should have asked Elward for one of her rad leather jackets. You could easily make one of those work. Geez, this is kind of a crummy neighborhood. And there you go again, making snap judgments. Get a little alien culture into you and suddenly you're an expert. Looks like you found the Alternian nightlife. Well, technically all life here is nightlife. If people are nocturnal here, shouldn't nightclubs be called day clubs? Maybe the lure of dancing and getting smashed with strangers is not enough to get people to brave the blistering sun. You doubt you'd brave a stiff breeze for it. You aren't much of a partier. But recently, you are all about new experiences. You'll try anything once. A long line of people snakes along the side of a building. It doesn't appear to be moving. The club must not be open yet. You consider getting in the line, but there's so many people here. You really are more of a one-on-one friendship type. You go around to the back instead. You find your old friend the back alley in the dumpster. Distantly, you hear music. It comes on every few seconds and then drops off. Maybe a sound check. Ah. You hear something else. Ah. A musical sigh comes from up ahead. You turn a corner to find a girl standing alone outside the back entrance. A heavy door is propped open with a chunk of concrete like someone had gouged it out of the street. The girl has on a sweater dress and leg warmers, a bronze sign splashed across her chest. You wonder if you should consider painting a sign onto your own clothes just to make yourself seem more normal. Yeah, no, probably no point. You'd also need to paint yourself gray and find a pair of fake horns. Who would do something like that? Sounds like a huge pain with absolutely no benefits. The girl hasn't noticed you yet. She's staring at her feet and sighing. Also, she's making weird little whoops and clicking noises, or singing a few bars of wordless notes, starting low and then climbing up high. Wow, it sounds pretty good. The enclosed space between the alley walls makes it seem like it's coming from all directions. Maybe you should just leave. She looks busy, but then another troll sticks their head around the open door, shooting the girl an unkind look and kicking the cement block doorstop away. Oh heck, there's really only reason you would prop open a door. Stand there like an asshole. Like the witness to a disastrous car accident, you stand there and watch as the girl notices the door closing and lets out a squeak, jumping for the handle. She misses it and smacks her knee against the metal frame. Ouch! Damn it! She has a soft musical voice, even when she's swearing. You ask if she's okay. She stops rubbing her knee and looks up at you. You're quite a bit taller than her, but she looks older than some of the other trolls you've hung out with. No worries. Well, at least not about my leg. If you want something to worry about, I'm sure I can come up with some ideas without much trouble. You assure her that you've had plenty to worry about recently, though you appreciate the offer. She gives a fruitless tug on the back door. She knocks. Nobody comes. She knocks again. Still nothing. You tell her that someone kicked her doorstop out of the way. She looks disappointed, but not surprised. Oh well. I'll just have to go back around to the front. Could be worse. Would you care to join me? Oh my God, you thought she'd never ask. This is working out perfectly. You were so glad she got locked out back here with you and the rest of the garbage. I'm Chixie. Chixie Roxmer. Although I'm sure you already knew that. I don't think you're an idiot or anything. You know, meets and greets are usually after the show, but you seem nice. You aren't sure how she figures that, since all you've done is stand around. It's true, though, so you don't protest. You are nice. Super nice. You might be the nicest son of a bitch on this whole dang planet. You ask her if she's performing here tonight. Of course. Why would I be warming up in a dirty back alley? You tell her that you've seen people do far weirder things. She laughs. You aren't wrong. People around here will do anything for attention nowadays. For instance, you are walking around in an ablution robe. You cough delicately. True. Very true. She's got you there. If you come inside with me, I can give you an autograph. I don't have anything to write with back here. Chixie seems to think that you are a fan who managed to get past security to accost her in person. She doesn't seem too upset, though. More like delighted. You think back many friends ago when Sarava told you it was dangerous for low bloods to get popular. You wonder if Chixie trusts you because she thinks you're also a low blood. Or maybe she's just not that popular. If you follow her back to the front of the club, past the line of trolls waiting to get inside. The guy whistles at her, and she gives him a flirty little wave, along with a flat smile. A customer service smile. She shows the bouncer something on her palm husk, and he lifts up the velvet rope. They're with me, they're my +1. Wow, you've never been anybody's +1 before. A bunch of people in line look annoyed, but Chixie ignores them. You follow her, tripping a little on the hem of your robe. Be careful, huh? You don't want to twist an ankle. Chixie speaks with a lilt, like a character in a musical getting ready to burst into song. You hope you aren't supposed to participate if she does. You're a little too busted for impromptu dance numbers, and you're also liable to flash someone in this robe. You hear music and chatter from down the hall, but Chixie pulls you in another direction towards the dressing rooms. You pass several closed doors, stopping in front of one that seems to be in the process of being cleared out. A bunch of shit is spilling out into the hall, clothes trailing out of suitcases. A microphone cord seems to be slithering slowly along the detritus. Charming. God, I can't do anything without someone messing me around, locking me out, and now this. Who did this? I am seriously out for blood tonight. It looks like someone commandeered her dressing room while she was out, as well as tossed all her shit out into the hall. I have to deal with this. I'll be right back. You can borrow some clothes if you want. In fact, I insist. She leaves you in the cramped little room. It's dark in the hall, but everywhere in Alternia is kept darker than is comfortable for you. You're getting used to it. You imagine humans used to have to deal with this all the time back before electricity, provided they didn't die immediately of, like, dysentery. You flick on the outline of white bulbs around the mirror. Oh, wow. Even in the soft, flattering light, you look like an A-grade free-range disaster. Tagara's expensive rainbow drinker serum is rubbed off, and now you're mostly just dusty. You wade through a couple of Chixie suitcases, but everything here is too small for you. There's a couple of sweater dresses and a hoodie that might fit, but without a pair of pants, it's going to get real scandalous real fast. The only thing you find that works in the whole damn dressing room is a floaty purple dress hanging on the back of the door. Definitely not your style. You never would wear anything like this at home. But fuck it, roll with the punches, right? And not just in violence ways, fashion ways. You give a little experimental twirl in front of the mirror. You aren't going to break any hearts, but you'll do. You actually kind of dig it. You are busy admiring yourself when Chixie comes back. She sniffles sharply and there are tear tracks on her face, but she isn't crying anymore. In fact, she looks mad as hell. Oh, damn, is she mad at you? Did you manage to fuck something up without even being there? You've got mad fuck-up skills. I got bumped. They kicked me off the lineup. I was supposed to be opening, but some new band came in, and they have a purple blood drummer, so the club owner let them take my place. Of course, this is how it always goes. God, she looks so sad. Time to break out your finely tuned comforting muscles. But before you can get those guns out, someone oozes up to the two of you. Someone you recognize. Oh, this asshole again. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh. I'm trying. I noticed somebody in the chat mentioned how they pronounced Chixie's last name, and now I'm trying to find it. Roixmer, like Bosmer or Altmer. Roimer. Roximer. I guess we'll deal with it later. We gotta deal with this guy again. Okay. Oh, incredible, Miss Roxmer. Rosemer. Yeah, we'll deal with this later, and it's like the 5th word in here I have to say. Rosemer. What are the odds? It must be fate. Well, you chirped that you were coming to the show, so I guess the odds were pretty good. Zebra doesn't let this dim his sparkle. He isn't the type of guy to let facts get in the way. He hasn't even noticed you. He's too busy kissing the back of Chixie's hand. Ugh. Looking good, baby. I'm kind of a mess. I've been crying. Well, crying looks good on you. Zebra finally glances your way and does an extremely exaggerated double take.
Wow, damn, I didn't even recognize you. You clean up really nice, you know.
You haven't cleaned up at all, really. You haven't bathed since Tagra's fancy ablution trap. All you've done is put on a slinky dress. It's not like you aren't happy to see Zebra. You are. He's one of your many success stories. He's just, you know, the kind of friend you want to think back on fondly from time to time, remembering all the good times. Yeah, not necessarily the kind you want to hang out with, or have hang all over you like he is right now. Chixie looks at his arm around your shoulder and seems momentarily annoyed. Then her expression skips a couple tracks and hits back on neutral. So you've met where? Online? In a forum? Can I join?
Not in a forum, unless you're talking about the forum of life.
He winks.
Fate just keeps bringing us together, doesn't it? Just like you and me, Chixie baby.
Chixie laughs. Now that she's gotten over her surprise, her entire demeanor has changed. Her body language has relaxed and she keeps biting her lip. She looks like an actor demonstrating bashful on command. Zebra is eating it up. It was really nice of you to post about my EP on your blog. I got a lot of listens from that.
Babe, have I ever told you that I think you're so strong? Seriously, low-blood girls are so strong.
Chixie laughs again. It sounds painful. Maybe once, or twice.
I love your new stuff. That one song, Poisonous Moon or whatever.
Bloody Sun.
Right, yeah, exactly. Real good stuff, sweetheart. I can't wait to hear more tonight.
Oh, right. He doesn't know Chixie got bumped. Chixie meets your eyes. She seems to be trying to communicate something entirely using her eyebrows. Oh. I'm going to try really, really hard to get the worst endings out of the way. You tell Zebra about the higher caste trolls coming in and taking Chixie's place. She starts making frantic motions behind Zebra's back and shaking her head, but immediately stops when he turns to look at her.
That true, babe?
It's not a big deal. This sort of stuff happens in the business all the time. Or so people tell me. Don't worry about it.
No, I am worried. I always worry about low-bloods in terrible positions who can't help themselves at all. I'll take care of it for you.
You really don't have to. Zebra touches her arm for way longer than is necessary. It's more of a shoulder rub than a pat. Chixie seems to be trying very hard not to shrug him off. Her smile belongs on a Halloween mask, a rictus grin. The two of you watch him swagger off back towards the front of the hall. Chixie lets out a breath. I wish you hadn't done that. He's got a really popular music blog, and he's an indigo, so I have to be polite. One bad review from him and it's all over for my career. But I try to interact with him as little as possible. You hadn't realized that Zebra was a musician. Oh, he's not. He just reviews albums and shows, stuff like that. He makes a lot of reposts, but he's got a ton of followers. Don't get me wrong. It's really nice to be noticed, but he's just a little pushy, and I don't have time in my life right now for quadrants, you know what I mean? You do. You so do. Does Zebra try what he tried with you on every lowblood he meets? You aren't sure if that makes you feel worse or better. Chixie talks about him like he's a natural disaster, a tornado that she has to avoid to keep from getting torn apart. Like it's an inevitability that people would treat her like she owed them something. I don't want to seem ungrateful. You tell her that she doesn't seem ungrateful. From where you're standing, she doesn't seem to be doing anything wrong. She sighs, blowing a piece of hair out of her eyes. Too bad doing everything right doesn't automatically mean things will go your way. When Zebra comes back, such little time has passed that you don't think he could have possibly done anything. He shows you and Chixie all of his teeth.
I got it all fixed up for you. You go on tonight. In fact, you're headlining. You're welcome.
Chixie's mouth drops open. What? How?
I get to do anything I want in my own club.
Wait. What?
I bought it from the owner. He's just a teal. Seriously, business ownership? A is a little ambitious for a mid-blood, isn't it? I convinced him that it would be easier for him to take and everybody else if a high blood took over. If I'd been meaning to get into the club scene anyway. Now you'll always have somewhere to perform, provided you do everything I say all the time. He grins to show that it's just a joke, but there's also something in his smile that you really don't like. You regret asking for his help. So does Chixie, apparently. She gets right in your face.
Nice work. Now I owe him even more than before. It's the only club around here that will let low-blood solo acts perform. You can find your own way out, can't you?
Oh, I feel bad, but I also feel good that
now we have a better chance of getting the good ending last. Okay. 1 ending down, 3 to go. Let's try grabbing the door before it can close. Displaying the dexterity of someone far healthier and far less dressed in a slinky bathrobe, you grab the door before it can slam closed. The bronze blood girl's attention snaps up and breaks off mid-note. She takes in the misplaced concrete and you holding the door. Oh, thanks for catching that. I would have had to go all the way around the front. It must have been the wind.
Just what sort of wind do they have here that could pick up a chunk of rock the size of a turtle? Unless wind is urban slang for some rude douchebag. She gives you a quick little smile and darts to the door, letting it close behind her with a solid click. Yep. Locked. The brief gleaming flare of friendship you felt when she smiled at you in earnest thanks stutters and dies. You really had a moment there, but now she's inside and you're out here, where you will never reap the fruit of glorious friendship you planted with that act of kindness. Geez, what's the point of doing something nice if you don't get any credit for it? Oh, okay. 2 endings. Nice. No, this is good. I would definitely rather get the worst endings and get the good ending last. That way we're not leaving on such a downer as we have so many times before. The last 2 endings are both good endings, but in different ways. Oh, that is very good to know. So now there will be no bad feelings at the end of this stream. That is exactly what I want. I am going to mind my own damn business this time. You follow Chixie's lead, and don't say anything. Zebra will find out pretty soon anyway, when the show starts and Chixie doesn't get on stage. He takes off, saying he's going to go get a spot in the pit.
There's no pit here.
Her earnest, polite looks drops as soon as Zebra is out of sight. She's letting you see all the bits of herself that she has to hide from other people. You wonder if it's because you don't matter that much, or because she can sense your trustworthy nature. You're a neutral optimist when it comes to friendship, so you decide to believe the latter.
Come on, I want to get a good look at the jerks who took my stage from me, so I can talk about them on my vent chitter. You can follow it if you want. Only like 4 people do. It's not like anybody cares about my problems anyway.
You risk an encouraging pat between her shoulder blades. She sniffs and wipes her nose. I would totally follow Chixie's vent chitter.
At least I have you, my one non-creepy fan. At least I think you aren't creepy. I guess I don't know you that well.
You assure her that you aren't that creepy. At least not as creepy as that guy. Chixie starts to respond, but then breaks off. Her voice sticks in her throat like she swallowed a bug. Oh wait, they actually eat bugs here, like she swallowed a live bug. Actually, they might eat live bugs. Well, fuck. Simile cancelled. Anyway, Chixie stops talking, and you realize it's because she's listening instead. The first band is on, and going from Chixie's expression, this must be the band that scooped her. I can't believe it. I can't. She takes off. You aren't sure if you were supposed to follow, but she swoops back in, grabs your hand, and drags you along behind her. You go past the club entrance and up a staircase, emerging in a tiny backstage area. Trixie stops just outside the stage lights. The band on stage is 4 trolls, mixed cast judging from their clothes, although you suppose they don't have to wear the clothes the color of their blood, though most trolls seem to. Law or tradition, both are dangerous to break. That's my song. They didn't just steal my set, they stole my set list. Her cheeks flush a reddy brown, and she shakes with rage. She begins singing along with them. Twist and pull, breathe the terror of life on hell, spines and gore, forevermore, on this nightmare island spell. Heiress above, blight below, I'm knocking on your hive's front door. Love me, please, I abhor. It has a kind of twangy country feel to it, except it's about murder. Or maybe love? You can't tell. It just doesn't really fit the band on stage's vibe. But it really doesn't fit Trixie's either. But then again, maybe you just haven't seen her perform. Maybe she's really different when she gets in the spotlight. She's crying now, tears streaming down her face as she sings. It's all over. Nobody's gonna believe that I wrote this music. Some little dirt-blood country girl. You remember what Sarava told you about high blood stealing their music and acting like they wrote it. God, that's so unfair. That sucks. Where's the bar? Trixie looks up at you like she's only just remembered she is a physical body and not simply an amorphous blob of pure sadness. There's a cluster of bottles on a nearby amp. God, more Faygo. Of all the brands that could cross galaxies, of course it had to be Faygo. Trixie grabs what looks like a liquor bottle. Right here. Come on. Not even my Vinch hitter is enough for this. Back in the dressing room, Trixie upends several suitcases onto the floor, mixing her stuff with the other performers. Her give-a-shit-a-meter is down in the red, apparently. She flops down in the pile she's made and takes a huge gulp out of the bottle. Wow, have some. It's awful. Encouraging. Come on. It's gross, but it won't kill you. You wish people would stop promising you that. So far it's been true, but you still don't trust it. She takes another drink and hiccups, then holds the bottle out for you. Great. Peer pressure. Lying on a pile of sweaters with a distraught vocalist and getting wasted is exactly what you wanted to do with your evening. Trixie gives the bottle a shake. Oh well, you suck smoke out of a bug's ass and you're still here. You drop down on the sweaters beside her. Trixie is dramatic, but you're not disappointed to discover that she's not being dramatic about this. It is awful. Right? Have some more. You do. God, that's bad. Trixie is getting a lot tipsier than you. She's drinking faster and she's smaller than you are. Not that you don't know shit about troll physiology. Come on, let's commiserate. It's hard, you know? You nod. Boy, do you know. The music business, I mean, especially when you're starting out. You have to be visible, but you also can't look like you're showing off. You have to pretend you don't like the attention or fame, even if you do. But sometimes you have to pretend you do like it, even if you don't. If you're a low blood, you have to watch everything you do, all the time. If you're a high blood, you can do anything and everybody thinks it's awesome, no matter what. Show business sucks. You want to mention that she's the one who decided to go into it in the first place, but that would be unkind. Nobody here seems to have a job or go to school either. They all just have intensely obsessive hobbies, like painting or music or meat. Instead, you tell her that you're sure she'll write more songs. Sure, and they'll just steal those too. You tell her you're sure that's not true. Shh. Trixie attempts to put a finger up to your lips, but it gets it half up your nose instead. Shh. Complaining time, not helpful advice time. Oh dang, you can definitely get behind that, because you've got some complaints. You take another swig and it burns all the way down. You tell Trixie about crash landing on a strange alien planet, the broken limbs and hard times and bad wardrobe choices. You skirt around all the amazing friends you made, though. You don't want her to experience friend envy. Halfway through your harrowing story, you hear something. Chixie is passed out, drooling on your dress. Better than puking. Do trolls puke? Oh well, this isn't a vow of undying friendship, but it's not friendly? Victory? Oh, poor Chixie. Yeah, okay. So we've gotten the two bad endings, the one good ending, and now we're going to get the best ending. The best ending is my favorite ending. Okay, so let's go ahead and get us that last ending. We should do something. I should do something. You should do something. Yeah. Chixie clenches her fists. Yeah! She reaches into a snarled mess of equipment and comes back with a microphone that only looks a little bit squirmy. She then walks over to a costume rack and pulls down a mask. It's plain white, like Phantom of the Opera's mask, jarringly stark against the gaudy, organic styles of most everything else on Alternia. She waits for a dip in volume in the song, and she gets one right after the bridge. Then she switches on the microphone and takes a huge breath. Shut the fuck up! The shout reverberates around the club. The sound of the crowd dips, then falls off almost entirely. The band staggers to a slow, rattling stop. Nobody seems to know what's going on. Oh hell, this isn't what you meant. You meant, like, egg their tour bus or trash them online. Chixie steps into the light, and a murmur goes up through the crowd. The band singer lowers her microphone. She is in a short blue dress with a long vicious claws painted red. You aren't up on all the trends, but you're pretty sure that red is edgy. Chixie covers her microphone and says something to the band. The cerulean stares at her for a few seconds before letting out a cascading spray of laughter. Sure, honey, okay, condescending and sweet, like Chixie is a toddler who happened to wander on stage. She points finger guns at the guy on the soundboard. Razor, give the lady a beat. Oh God. You know what this is. You see Chixie's face framed by the lights, focused and intent, all simpering gone. You like that? You like that? I wrote it. You hit that? I own it. Coming in hot, trying to steal my spot. Oh Lord, is this a limerick? Just grab my bulge and deep throat it. A dirty limerick? Holy shit, she's really doing this thing. A rap battle. Jesus. The cerulean girl spits some stuff back. It's kind of basic, just general insults about Chixie's blood color and her lyrics being stale. Considering she stole Chixie's song, that doesn't really fly. The crowd doesn't know that, though. They're eating it up. They probably think it's all part of the show. Some fiery little low blood coming on stage to shake things up. Paint your claws red, paint your mouth brown, acting like you know what it's like down here on the ground. The crowd whoops. This might be a high blood owned club, but there's definitely a lot of low bloods in the crowd. But it's imitation. I got no expectation. This is your final station. You aren't gonna hit higher than this collaboration. You aren't like a rap expert or anything, but you can definitely tell that Chixie isn't either. She gets breathless towards the end of lines and hits some words strangely, but the crowd is really feeling her. Definitely more than they're feeling the cerulean. Chixie's voice picks up speed and power as she gains confidence, drawing energy off the crowd. You realize you're leaning forward too, making sure you catch every word. She goes through a whole list of the band's shortcomings, including their fashion sense, their talent level, and their interpersonal clusterfuck. They're apparently a pretty well-known group online. She throws in some stuff about them stealing her music and the crowd oohs, like this is a middle school cafeteria. So kill me. Call me. Call the drones. It won't change a bit of what they all know. When you're a thief, what do you expect? I beat you all square. Hey, show me some respect. Chixie drops the mic. The room erupts. Holy shit, that was awesome. She just came up with all that on the fly. The cerulean looks furious, and another troll runs onto the stage to try and get the crowd under control. They're all chanting, "Mask! Mask! Mask!" Chixie runs back off stage, chucking both the mask and the microphone back where she found them. She grabs you, and you run all the way to the back, out to the alley where you met, letting the door close behind you. Guess you're done with that club. Chixie's eyes are round and shell-shocked. I just did that. Yeah, she really did. I just told a bunch of high-bloods to eat my bulge. You don't know what a bulge is, but yep. Fuck, they liked me, didn't they? They were cheering for me. You say, yeah, you're pretty sure they were. Holy shit, I'm going to be called. Did you hear all that stuff I said? You can't just say stuff like that. You remind her that she was wearing a mask when she did it. Oh, right. Nobody will know who I am. I'm safe. Oh, but that means nobody will know it was me. You aren't quite following. I'm not going to get any credit at all. God, why does everything in my life have to be so metaphorically resonant? Oh, girl, you feel that. You def know what that's like. Hey, that was pretty dope. Both of you jump about a foot in the air. A low-blood in a hoodie and a pair of sunglasses slouches against the brick beside the back door. Either you are seriously impaired today, or he is seriously good at sneaking. You got any stuff online? He asks Chixie. She gapes at him. But I was wearing a mask. How did you know? Well, you're standing right outside the door, and you're wearing the same clothes you did on stage, so... Oh, right. Clever of you. Don't worry about it. Plausible deniability, right? Catch you later. He slinks off, one hand raised in a casual, cool guy farewell. See, you tell Chixie, some people will figure out who you are. Possibly just randos outside of clubs, but still, she can do this. She can make her dreams come true. You're totally right. I so can. I guess all hope isn't lost. At least not until another insurmountable obstacle comes along. Thanks for, well, everything. I never would have gone out there if not for you. She hesitates for a few seconds, then goes in for a slightly damp hug. Sorry, stage lights and terror make me sweat. Hooray! We did it, everyone. We made friends with Chixie. Yeah, braver than any Violet Marine. Yeah, Chixie's pretty great. And that's it. We managed to get all of Tisius's and Chixie's endings. And yeah, I think maybe Tisius's route was a little bit underwhelming compared to Chixie's, but that seems to be like that seems to be the standard for each episode, from what I can tell. Like, one of them is clearly like the main feature, and the other is kind of like a supporting feature. Maybe it's not that way for all of them, but that's what it seems like to me. I don't know. But in any case, these were both good routes, and I really liked them. Yeah, they seem to be getting a little bit longer. I think Bronya's has been the longest so far. At least it feels that way. But that one was pretty good too. So, oh well. In any case, that finishes up for this volume. Normally we do a Saturday night stream for Monster Rancher, but
This Saturday is going to be pretty busy for me, so it will be happening on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, as much as I can get it to happen. And then, of course, next week will be Friendstream Volume 9, Monday night, as always. I'm really excited. I don't remember who Volume 9 is. Oh, it's the guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! And the big heavy clown girl. That'll be fun. Woo! I can't wait. Yeah, the anime gold. Okay. Yeah. That'll be fun. In the meantime, I'm going to take all of this and render it out so I can put it up on YouTube for all of the less cool people, but people who are still pretty cool that weren't able to make it to the actual stream. Yeah, you all are still cool. Everyone's cool. We're all cool here. Alright. And also, I'm like tizziest levels of tired. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this thing together so I can upload it. Alright? And until next time, I will see you all, and I hope you have a good week. Bye.